Okay, so we are on our second day of 8-1. We are going to be working on 45, 45, 90 triangles. You might want to highlight that. And a 30, 60, 90 triangle. If you look at the board, do you see 45, 45 and 30, 60, 90 triangles up there? Do you see those degrees? This is important stuff, guys. It is on your map test. It is on your pre-ACT. It is on your ACT. These are important things. This is like one of the, not one of, but it's one of the things that you should carry over from geometry. When we get to it in pre-calc, I'm not going to say, ooh, you got to all remember it. But I do expect you to go, oh yeah, we did do that in geometry. Let me refresh it. Does that make sense? So this is something we will work on. What we have are, and did you see this isosceles triangle in the 45, 45? Yes? Okay. So that means across from each 45-degree angle, our ratio is x, or 1x. Now, x can be anything. X can be 20. It can be 30. If x is 20, each side is 20. Correct? You see how that works? Now, I will typically say just x instead of 1x, but there's a 1 there. If you look on the board, you'll see I just have a 1 instead of the x, and everything's applied that it has an x. It's just there. Across from the 90,
2x.
It is x square root of 2. Now, I think Mason was looking at the board, and he sees 45, 45, 90, and he sees across from the 90 as a what?
2.
2. Okay? But you also see that it's not x across from 45 and 45, is it?
Nope.
No. I will show you how I get that in a minute after I do the 30, 60, 90. There are 2 different ratios you can look at, but they're actually the same. So what we're going to use are these ratios right here. X, and x squared of 2. Got it? Everyone got it? Understand it? What?
What's the difference between the first triangle and the second triangle?
I'm going to show you in a little bit.
There's like no difference.
No, there is no difference. I'm just going to show you in a little bit.
So we get the same answer.
Shush.
What's the point of it being?
Focus. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do when you get to a triangle, you're going to tell me if it's a 45 or a 30, 60, 90. Is this a 45 or a 30, 60, 90?
45.
45, because it has 45, right? Okay, now on your worksheet, and it has X and Y's and N's and whatever, we're going to change them all to X's. So, I have across from 45, it is 7. What is the ratio across from 45?
1x.
X, 1x. So 7 equals what? X. Does it not?
No.
That's what the ratio says, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what's the other side over here then?
7.
X. And X is what?
7.
7. Across from the 90, what is my ratio?
X.
X7 and the square.
Well, what's my ratio?
7 to the square root of
What is my
X square
ratio?
root of 2.
X square root of 2. And what is X?
7.
7 square root of 2. I want you writing the ratios so you learn them today. Okay? Now that was pretty easy. X was already there, right?
Is that the answer?
Yep, that's the answer. Those are the side lengths of that triangle.
Where'd you get X from?
It gave me 7.
Where'd you get a 7 from?
It gave me 7 in the problem.
Oh.
Okay.
So what happens if
Nope, we're getting into the what ifs. Okay, so what did they give me on the second one?
14.
They gave me 14. They gave me the hypotenuse, correct?
Yeah.
What is 14 equal to? What's the ratio?
90. X squared root of 2.
X squared of 2.
So you work it backwards.
Okay, just... And what is the ratio for the other 2 sides then?
7.
No,
1x.
1x. And 1x. So once I solve for x, do I get my other sides?
Yes.
Yes. So I have x squared of 2 equals 14. Right? Am I big enough for you? Okay. So how do I solve for x?
You square root, and not square root, you square 2 and x.
Nope.
No, 2 and 14.
This is multiplication. How do you undo multiplication?
Division.
Division. So I divide both sides by the square root of 2. So the square root of 2 and the square root of 2 on the left reduce, and I have just x. Now, I cannot leave a square root in the denominator, ever. So how I get rid of it is multiply by exactly the same thing. So the square root of 2, but if I do it in the denominator, I have to do it in the numerator. So my numerator is 14 square root of 2. And my denominator is square root of 2 times the square root of 2, which is 2. Can I reduce?
Yes.
The 14 and the 2 reduce.
7.
So I get x equals 7 square root of 2. So that means this side and that side are what?
7.
7 square root of 2. Not 7.
That's dumb. There's no reason to have a square root there.
So once I find x, I just plug it into all the x's, correct? That's all I do. First thing I do, identify 30, 60, 90, 45, 90. Then I write the ratios on all the sides. I solve for x and then plug it back in. Every single triangle. Is it a helpful comment you're going to say?
No.
Then
but
don't say it.
I have a
Okay,
question.
what's your question?
I can wait.
Is it helpful?
It's not hurtful.
Okay, 30, 60, 90 ratios. Across from 30, your ratio is x. Or 1x. Are you guys okay if I don't put the 1 there?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I think I'm gonna.
Across from 60 is x square root of 3. Across from 30 is x. Across from 60 is x square root of 3. Across from 90 is 2x.
That's too many arrows. I don't know
Why does it change?
what they're going.
And why does it change? Because you have a different triangle. Because you have a 30, 60, 90 instead of a 45, 45, 90. Just what it is.
Okay, I got this now.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is identify what kind of triangle it is. What kind of triangle
30,
is it?
60, 90.
30, 60, 90. Then I'm going to put my ratios. So they gave me the hypotenuse. What's its ratio?
10.
No. What is its ratio?
X square root of 3.
2x.
Why?
Across from 90 is 2x. So 10 feet equals 2x. Across from 60
Hold on. Wait a minute. You don't confuse me.
is x squared of 3.
Oh, that's too confusing.
Across from 30 is x. You see how we're labeling those?
No.
Yes.
Why'd you move the x square root of 3? I thought it was on the top.
No, it has to go across from the angles. So 60 is here, across from 60 is x squared of 3. 60 is here, across from 60 is x squared of 3.
Okay.
Because I could write my triangle, I could draw my triangle in any orientation, correct?
Yep.
You just have to go across from the angles. So they gave me the hypotenuse, yes?
Yep.
So I have 10 equals 2x.
5.
Divide by 2, and x equals
5.
5. Once I find x, all I do is plug it in. So across from 30 is now what?
5.
5, because it's just x. And across from 60 is 5 square root of 3.
Big brain. Now what's the answer?
That's it. That's the answer. Those sides are 5, 5 square root of 3, and 10.
Okay.
Okay, next one. We're going to label them again. Across from 30 is what ratio?
X.
X. Across from 60 is
X square root of 3.
x square root of 3. Across from 90 is
10.
2x. Now, what side did they give me?
X square root of 3.
60.
The 60. So all I need to do is find the x, right?
Mm-hmm.
So 28 equals x square root of 3. So what do I do?
Divide by square root of 3.
Divide by the square root of 3. So the square root of 3 is reduced on the right. And over here, I have to do this thing. It's called rationalizing because I cannot leave a square root in the denominator. Square root of 3 over the square root of 3 is just 1, isn't it? Is it 1? Square root of 3 divided by the square root of 3, is that 1? Square root of 2 divided by square root of 2, is that 1? Yeah. Since I'm multiplying both the numerator and the denominator by the same thing, I'm really only multiplying it by 1. I'm just moving things around. So the numerator is 28 square root of 3. And my denominator is the square root of 3 times the square root of 3, which is just 3. Does 3 go into 28?
Yes. No.
No. Okay. So x over here is 28 square root of 3 over 3.
How are we gonna do that? 2.
Now, over here, we have to take 2 times 28 square root of 3 over 3. Well, I'm just going to take 2 times 28, which is what?
56.
56 square root of 3 over 3. Is that too small for you, Raya? You
No, I'm good.
got it? Okay. I kind of crowded it.
Is that all? Yep, we did it.
Mm-hmm. So now we're going to do exactly what... Oh, I told you we would do something with that other triangle up there, right?
I lost about 4 brains.
Okay, do I have any questions about this?
When am I ever going to use this in my
Okay,
daily life?
will you stop, Mason?
I have
You're not being helpful. That question is asked all... It is not helpful. Stop.
I just had a serious question.
Okay, so down at the bottom, I have 1 square root of 3 and 2, correct? I have 2 for the hypotenuse. When I was in, when I was in trig, I would always get confused. I'm like, okay, which one has a 2 and which one has a square root of 2? And my brain was just getting overloaded. I'm like, can't I make it all just 2? Well, can't I make just this side 2x? Well, I thought about it. I'm like, well, if I have x square root of 2 and x and x. So if I multiply one side, I have to multiply all 3 sides, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So what would I multiply the square root of 2 by just to get 2?
Square.
Square root of 2, wouldn't I?
Yeah.
Because the square root of 2 times the square root of 2 is what?
2.
2. But then I have to do here and here.
Yep.
So I also could use this ratio, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you look on the board, is this the ratio that I have on the board for 45, 45, 90 over there?
No, yes.
Yes, it is. In trig, this is the only ratio I use. Because it keeps my 92 and my 90 what? 2. I don't care. You don't have to use this one at all. I just wanted to show you it was available. In any book that you see, it will only have this. And then sometimes they just throw out this. I honestly use this when they give me a hypotenuse, and I use this one when they give me a leg, and then I don't have to calculate x. Okay? But can we just use one of them?
Yes.
Yes. I was just going to show you when you come in here and you see the trig stuff on the board, you're going to see the right-hand one. Okay? So we'll stick with this 1 square root of 2, unless you personally want to use the other. When you get to trig, I only use the right-hand one. Okay. So I tried to get the worksheet maker that I used to switch up 30, 60, 90, and 45s, and it didn't do it. It wouldn't do it. So it's 45 and 30, 60, 90, but hopefully by the time I get to the test, I find a way to get them mixed up, okay? It's really not that hard, is it?
No.
Okay. What triangle do I have first? A 45. So I have to label it. We're going to change the variables on here, guys, okay? So what is the ratio for 2 square root of 2 over 2? What was the ratio I just gave you on the front? Look at it.
Square root of 2.
No, wasn't it?
X.
X. Wasn't it? Okay. So if this side is x, what does y turn into? X. And this one is what?
X square root of 2.
X square root of 2. So x
Doesn't that just make it
square
a
root of 2. Well, I write bigger so Raya can see.
Doesn't that just make it a 2?
Okay. So there we have it. Every single one, I want you to label it. Because if you label it, is that going to make this whole thing pretty easy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if the side is 2, the leg is 3 square root of 2 over 2, what's the other leg?
3 square root of 2 over 2.
3 square root of 2 over 2. That's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
Does that just become 3?
Okay,
6
so now
over 2?
x, what's x? 3 square root of 2 over 2,
That just becomes
right?
Yep.
Times the square root of 2.
6.
So what's the square root of 2 times the square root of 2?
2.
2. So I have 3 times 2 divided by 2 is what?
6.
No,
3.
3.
Oh.
Because the 2's would cancel, isn't it?
They would reduce, yes.
You were going too fast for my brain. I thought we were still multiplying.
Okay, but I'm not going to multiply things out if I can reduce them. Because then we forget to reduce, right? Okay, so let's label our sides again.
Let's go.
What's your hypotenuse?
45. Oh, 5. Oh, square. X square root of 2.
Okay, so 5 equals x square root of 2. And
X.
what does u and v equal?
X.
X. Okay, so I need to figure out. So 5 equals x square root of 2.
If we just do the other way, make it 2.
No, we're not. If you want to, that's fine. I'm gonna stick with 1 in class. If you personally want to, that's fine. Just shh.
Doesn't it? No, I have a question.
Okay, but if you're, it's not about the way I'm doing it. I don't want to answer it because it's going to confuse everybody else.
Okay, just me and you. Okay, ready?
No. Okay, we don't have time for that. Okay, so how do I solve this?
Divide.
Divide by the square root of 2. Divide by the square root of 2. So this reduces. So x equals, and I have to do the square root of 2 over the square root of 2, right? Anybody remember what that word was that we're doing? Rationalizing. Good job, Sam. Okay, so I have 5 square root of 2 in the numerator.
2.
Over 2. Do I need to reduce any of that? Nope. So that x is for here and where?
There.
There.
So you got 2.
So you get 5, and you get 5 square root of 2 over 2. Did you get that when you did it the other way?
Nope.
Okay.
I got a 10.
Questions before we move on? I want you guys to try to label number 3 on your own. You can do 3 and 4 if you get 3 done and I haven't moved on.
Oh man. Can you scroll it up a little bit so I can see?
It's on your paper.
Oh, it is kind of. I have to flip though. Makes that too hard. Yeah, you know what? It sucks. That equals that, and then we take that, and I can't just can I cancel the 2's?
Okay, what goes equal to square root of 6 over 2?
Square root of 2. X square root of 2.
X square root of 2. And the other sides become x. I always like that because then you don't have to find one more thing and you're done, right?
Yep.
Okay, so then I have square root of 6 over 2 equals x square root of 2. So I have to divide by the square root of 2, don't I?
Yep.
Now, I got a fraction divided by a number. Well, how do I divide fractions?
Multiply.
I multiply by the
Denominator.
reciprocal. Thank you, Henry.
You know what that word means?
Okay, so I have the square root of 2. Isn't that the square root of 2 over 1? Yes? So what is the reciprocal of the square root of 2 over 1?
What's the reciprocal?
1 over the square root of 2. So 1 over the square root of 2. Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now this is one big fraction bar now, isn't it? Because it's multiplication. Yes? Does 2 go into 6?
Yes.
How many times?
3.
So this 2 becomes a 1,
Nope.
and this 6 becomes a
3.
3. So what is the square root of 1?
1,
And 1 times 2 is
2,
2. So x equals
3 over 2
square root of 3
over 2.
over 2. Okay, did I lose anybody in there?
Mm-mm.
So this is this side and that side.
Do we have to draw those arrows?
I don't know.
No, I just showed you.
Okay.
If you've labeled them, I'm okay with just x equals.
That's what I'm
Okay, label your next one. You guys want to try it on your own?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, try the next one on your own.
Alright, this is easy. I'm just kidding. I
Well,
don't know.
that's 6 and that's 6, and you take 6 square root of 2.
Yeah, this is the easiest one in the whole thing.
X equals. Is that correct?
Just watch me.
I'm
Done.
watching.
I don't even know if you have to reduce that. So. Nope.
Did you guys get 6, 6, and 6 square root of 2?
Yep.
Yes. Possibly.
Can our homework just be that in our test?
Yeah, no.
But I
4
see-
was like the easiest one in the whole thing, wasn't it?
Yep.
I guess.
Any questions, Raya? Did you get x, 6, 6, 6 square root of 2?
I got 6 square root of 2 and then 6, 6 I did not.
Well, they gave you 6, so the 6 was just the other side.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Because on a 45, they just has the same sides.
No, yeah.
Okay. Oh, now I'm going to go to 30, 60, 90, where we have to find all 3, right? Okay.
I'm done.
So we're going to do our ratios. Now, they only have a 30 or they only have a 60. So if they show you a 30, the other one's a what? 60. And if they show you a 60, the other one's a
90.
30.
Same
90
thing.
is always going to be
90 is always there. Okay, what ratio is across from 30? What does n turn into?
3
No. What is the ratio across from 30?
square root of 3.
No. Look at
1.
X.
x. It is 1x. Yes, it is 1x. Okay. What is the ratio across from 60?
X square root of 3.
X square root of 3. And what is the ratio across from 90?
2x.
Square root.
2x.
X.
So 9 equals 2x. So what does x equal?
3.5.
No.
4.5.
How about 9 halves?
What do you mean 9 halves?
9 divided by 2, correct?
Isn't that just 4.5?
No, we're using fractions.
Okay.
So the x up here becomes what? 9 over 2. Now, this square root of 3 is in the numerator and the 9's in the numerator, so we just write 9 square root of 3 divided by what?
2.
2. It's not bad until you throw square root in it, right?
What about square root? What is square root? Oh, that's what that is.
Okay, 6. Cross from a 30 is what? X. So 3 halves equals
X.
x. What does v equal?
The
X square root of 3.
X squared of 3 because it's across from the 60, right?
Mhm.
What does u equal?
2x.
2x. So do I already know what x is?
Yep. 3 halves.
3 halves.
So that'd be 3 square root of 3 over 2.
So 3 squared root of 3 over 2. And 3 times 2 is... Oh, wait. We got 2 times 3 halves.
Would
The
it just
2's
be
reduced and we just get what?
3.
3. So once I find x, does this pretty much just fall into place?
Kinda.
Might have to do some simplifying. Okay, you want to label the next one on your own first?
Yes. My turn.
Label 7 and 8 on your own.
What's across from 30 again?
Ow.
turn your page back and look.
That's 1x. 12 from 60. Square root of 3.
Cooper, you got them labeled?
Yep. Not bad.
2x.
That's 30. So that'd be X.
I'm confused.
And a boy.
All I want you to do is label them, not solve them. Label 7 and 8.
Oh, okay. We're done.
Okay, so across from 60, I always start with what they give me first. Across from 60 is what?
The
X squared of 3.
Yep.
Okay, across from 30, the X
1x.
becomes a
1.
Y. The Y becomes a X. I said that wrong. And across from 90 is
2x.
2X. Okay, so I have X squared of 3 equals 2 square root of 6. That's the first thing I do.
Divide by square root of 3.
Divide by the square root of 3. So on the right, the square root of or left, that's left. Square root of 3 is reduced. Now, square root of 6 and square root of 3 are both in the square roots. Does 3 go into 6? Yeah. So can I reduce them then? Yeah. So 3 goes into 3 once. And 3 goes into 6
Twice.
twice. Well, I just have 2 square root of 3 now, don't I?
Yep.
How about 2 square root of 2?
Yep.
So now I just plug in my x's. So my x is
2 square root of 2.
2 square root of 2. And then my 90 is 2 times 2 square root of 2. Well, what's 2 times 2?
4.
So it's 4 square root of 2.
4 square root of 2. I'm somewhat smart.
What's wrong, Henry? Okay, you got 8 already labeled?
Yep.
Try to do it on your own.
I don't know about that, but
Try.
Oh, we're doing 8.
Mm-hmm.
30. Across from 30 was just x, right?
Yes.
2x. That's just shit square root of 3. I think we'll share it.
I know. Hold on, Chris. There you go. And then
Hold on. Wait a minute. Sounds ain't right.
you my boy.
I think I am lost a little bit.
I'm working it out right now if you need to look up.
I got
I
last.
mean, if you know about that, I'm good. Maybe that's just wait, that cancels us. That's 3. Wait, where'd you get a 2 from? Wait a minute, I thought you just
You
times
divide
it.
by 2.
You divide the 2 over.
Oh, that's where I messed up. Real shucks. Would you? Is this homework?
Yep. Okay, so you should have got, for the x, you should have got square root of 3 over 2. And for across from the 60, it should all reduce to 3 over 2. Because the square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is
3.
3.
Hold on. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. I got just 3, not square root of 3.
Well, how did you just get 3?
I also only got x equals square root of 3.
Okay, but you should have square root of 3 equals 2x. That's where you should have started.
Yeah.
And you divide by 2.
That's a.
So divide by 2, and you get square root of 3 over 2.
That's where I went wrong.
Okay.
I took square root of 3 times 2, which is the square root of 3.
Well, the square root of 3 times 2 is 2 square root of 3.
Huh? You know what? Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
So your worksheet, you have front and back. There's 8 45 45s and 8 30 60 90s.
Wow.